We will begin with the concept of yoga and special place of Gyān Yog in the entire concept of yoga. The word yoga is derived from the Sanskrit root yuj, means to unite, to connect, to join. Yuj is the root for work, and Yog is the name derived from that root. It means connection, union, or joining. What sort of connection does it signify? As a matter of fact, the final meaning of yoga is joining our inner soul, spirit, with the universal spirit. That is the ultimate aim of yoga, or we may call the result of the fruit of yogic effort. So yoga is a result from that point of view. But then yoga is also a technique. And from technique point of view, you have to join first your consciousness, which is extroverted. At present we are conscious at the gross level, physical level. We know our physical body and physical self. But the yoga science says that we are not only gross body, we have two more bodies within us. Apart from gross body, there is Sukshma Sharir, that is subtle body, and Karan Sharir, that is causal body. And within the three bodies, the real spirit dwells. Now, if we want to join our individual spirit with the universal spirit, first we must try to know what is our individual spirit. We all say that we have a soul in our being, or spirit in our being. But have we seen that spirit? Do we know that soul that is residing within us? So first, unite your consciousness with your individual spirit which dwells within. So that is first part of yoga. Now, in order to unite our consciousness with the individual spirit that dwells within us, what should we do? First, unite your consciousness with the subtle body. We know the physical body, gross body, and we know we are conscious of the gross body. I am speaking with my gross body. You are listening with your gross body. We know the gross body very well. Even in our worldly life, if somebody asks for our identity, like one in your passport, you give your photograph of your physical body and you say, I am this person. So our not only consciousness, but even for extrovert working, we only know the gross self. But do we ever have a photograph of our subtle body or causal body or the spirit? No. And we have never bothered for that. So, in this course we are going to bother about that. How to get the photograph of our subtle body and the causal body and the spirit. I won't give you the ready-made print for that, but I will show you the technique. How to see it and how to have the photograph. Well, there is a technique nowadays developed purely in photography. Deals with the photographing of the subtle things that is within us. You must have heard about that. That if you take a leaf and put under that camera, that leaf is seen all right. Then there is some aura around it which you can see extra, which otherwise you can't see with your physical eyes. But through that camera, you can see it. Similarly, if you keep your fingers in the camera, then you can see aura around your fingers too. That aura is your subtle body. But subtle body is not just a coating above our physical body. It fits exactly into the physical body. So it is a separate body by itself. But being subtle, it can be adjusted into anything physical or gross. Now that concept also is hard to digest for us. But we can understand with some simple analogy in our external world. We know about the soil, and scientists would say that in the soil there is air as well as moisture, though we can't see with our gross eyes, but there is. Now, how the air went into it, how the moisture went into it, it becomes one with it. Likewise, there is subtle body in our gross body, and causal body also within that subtle body. And inside is the spirit. Sometimes I give an analogy that if you have precious jewel with you, then what do? You first put it in a good, nice paper or some silken piece of cloth. I don't know how you preserve, but that's the way Indian women preserve the jewels and the ornaments. They will either put them into good paper, colored paper, or some good piece of cloth, then cover it properly, then put it in a small box, and then put that box into the safe, iron safe, so that nobody can steal it, and then keep the keys with them. I don't know how you keep, but you have seen Indian women keeping the keys. They hang the bunch of keys here in the waist cloth. So now we have also kept our soul first, like the paper or piece of cloth, into the causal body, then put the causal body into the subtle body, and then put the subtle body into the gross body, and locked it. And the key we have locked, otherwise we can open. Now, we have everything. We have safe, we have a jewel box, we have a piece of cloth in it, and also jewel in it. But unfortunately, we have lost the key. And forgetting that key, you have come here all the long. How to open that box? Now, if suppose you have a jewel in the real safe, iron safe, and you have put it there and you have the key, and if I tell you, show me your jewel, what will you do? How will you show it? First unlock the safe. You have unlocked, suppose. Then what will you do? Take out the box from the safe. Yes. And then, so you have done that. Then what will you do? Put the box. Now you open the box. Now what will you do? Yes, remove the covering of paper or cloth, and then you will see the jewel and you can show it to me. Now you have learned the technique, how you should see the jewel inside. Open your physical body, then open your subtle body, then open your causal body, and then you will see the spirit within. It's so easy. Only thing is, you should have a key. Now, the question is how to go within and find out this subtle body. Now, our connection with subtle body, everyone has felt. Whether you have done yoga or not, you certainly know about your subtle body and connection with it. Maybe you are not aware of it. I'll tell you how you know. We all sleep at night, and everybody gets some or the other dream, if not always, sometimes. In dream, we talk to people, we laugh, we sometimes cry, we sometimes run, we sometimes jump, we sometimes sing, we sometimes eat. We do all these things in dreams, no? And when you are dreaming, you feel you are really doing that. Even if in dream somebody says, this is wrong, this is dream, you say, you don't know, this is right, this is real. Because in dream we don't know that it is dream. Then who sees all those things? And in dream your eyes are closed. Generally, if you close your eyes, there is darkness. If you want to see something outside, you have to open your eyes. But how do you see these things with closed eyes? Tell me. Our consciousness sinks into the subtle body during sleep. When there is especially the dream. So in a dream state, we have experienced something about our subtle body. And that's not wrong. What you experience in dream, when you open your eyes and come to your extroverted consciousness and be conscious about your gross body, then you say, oh, that was all wrong, it was dream. No, that also was right. Now, in that state, this is dream. This waking state becomes dream as compared to that. And so we are only dreaming within dreams and dreaming again within dreams and again dreaming within dreams. So this is our dream. And that is the crux of the yogic philosophy and philosophy of India. It says in one small aphorism, Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. This is the epitome of Indian philosophy. Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. Brahma is the final reality. That is truth. Satya means truth. Brahma Satya. Jagat means this universe that we see outside. Mithya means illusion. That is form. Now you will say that Muniji, we are seeing you talking and you are seeing us sitting and listening. Is this all wrong? Yes. This is dream within dream and within dream. And we say we are left. This is not the real learning. You are only getting information from me. What is called Jnana in Gyān Yog is that knowledge which gives you liberation. And that knowledge comes with the knowledge of the spirit within. Of course, we are learning the technique to gain that knowledge. But just learning the technique is not knowledge. It is an information. So you will get information about how to get the real knowledge. So when we talk about Gyān Yog, the word Gyān means knowledge about the spirit within. So all the knowledge that we possess of the external world and the entire universe is no knowledge, and it is nothing but ignorance. More and more information about the external world adds to our ignorance rather than knowledge, because it takes us further away from the real knowledge. In order to go nearer the spirit, you have to go within yourself. Instead, we are seeking knowledge from outside and going further away from inside. So, from that point of view, if you look, then you will start thinking that probably the knowledge that we gain or consciousness that we have now at the gross level is perhaps not good as the consciousness with our subtle body, because it's nearer to the soul. So is this vision of external universe better, or the dream state is better? Tell me. Which one is better? Our limitations grow when our consciousness is combined with the gross body. When it is with the subtle body, our limitations decrease or diminish, and our consciousness grows. As we still go deeper from subtle to the causal body, our consciousness further expands and our limitations further diminish. And then when we reach the spirit, our consciousness is fully expanded. It is pure, complete, 100% knowledge comes from soul. And ignorance doesn't exist anywhere then. It does not exist anywhere. So, the spirit that sits within us is all knowledge. It is knowledge. And why are we seeking knowledge now? Because there are 3 layers on our soul. And those 3 layers has caused limitations in our understanding, in our consciousness. And to overcome the limitations of this consciousness, is yoga. That is why in yoga it is said, transcend 3 bodies and you are liberated.
If you go into the subtle body during the sleep state, then you are unconscious. So
that is
perhaps what you're talking about is about consciously going into the subtle body. That is less limited than.
But even unconscious, when you say, if we are unconscious, then we are unconscious. Like when we faint, then we don't know anything. If somebody hits me on head, I have no dream. Just unconscious. But in dream,
we are conscious.
We are conscious. That's why we dream. But that consciousness is about the subtle body. But even then, our consciousness with subtle body is also not that full as it ought to be, because partly we are with the gross body. So when in dream, I'm going to explain that. It's a good question, but I was just giving that definition of yoga, that transcend these 3 bodies and you get liberation. Now, how to transcend this body, 3 bodies? And there, Amritji's question is very relevant. And in a way, he is right, to that in dream state, We feel we know very little. But I will tell you, you know much more. In dream state, you see many miraculous things. Sometimes you jump 100 foot high. And sometimes you fly in the air. During dream, no? You do all the miracles there. How does it happen? Tell me. Those are the characteristics of the subtle body. If you have the subtle body, you can fly up to heaven and come back. Let alone jumping only 100 feet. Then many types of people and many types of places and so many things which you haven't seen in this life you see. How does it come to your mind? Nothing comes to our mind without learning. When I say water, every one of you know what water is. You have a concept about water and you have a word connoting that concept. So you know. If I say pen, all of you immediately understand me because you have a concept about the word and also you have seen the pen and used it. Now, as I told in the last course, Agdam Bagdam, what is it? Tell me. Agdam Bagdam. And don't worry, nobody knows, including Amritji and me, because it is just useless word, it has no meaning. It is in no dictionary, in no language. So, if we use words which have no meaning, we can't understand. And if we use words which may have some meaning, but if we haven't seen the object, we can't conceive it, you see, properly. So, that is our knowledge now. Your knowledge is based on language only. Even in dream, you speak something, you hear something, but in the language you know.
That's very important.
If language is taken out of you, you don't know anything. You become worse than a child. Because child is nearer to the spirit and ignorant. You are much farther away from spirit and you will become ignorant minus language. And language and also seeing things. Everything has a name. Everything has a form. And that is why another tenet, another basic concept of Indian philosophy is this whole universe is Nam and Roop. Nam and Roop. Nam means name and Roop means form. The entire knowledge that we possess, you see, revolves around these two things, name and form.
And mind conceives nothing except
name and form. Yes, that's right. So you understand the limitation of mind also. So mind cannot give you knowledge, nor can your intelligence give you knowledge. Yoga says that if you want to realize spirit, go beyond intellect also. Close it, lock it. Not during my lecture, huh? Left. But in sadhana, yes. I have been telling people that I have done sadhana for 23 years. And if you ask my experience, I will say, at no moment in 23 years during my sadhana, I ever had any need for intelligence. So, you can safely lock it and keep it aside. And yet you can do sadhana. As a matter of fact, mind, intellect, both are impediments in knowing the spirit. And that is why I say that Gyān word itself is not knowing as we do now. Somebody speaking and somebody hearing and we reading the books and knowing, and it is necessary to some extent in order to know what we should do. After we know that, then that is not necessary. During Karma Yog, I talked to the group about the rebirth. I won't talk about it at length, but theory of rebirth is the basic theory to understand what we are. Why do we forget when we are reborn as a child? Why we forget everything? If we have rebirth and if we have lived before, why don't we remember now? Because the Nam and Rup that we learnt in that life went with our gross body. And so again we learn language, and again we learn the same thing. Again we go, again we are reborn as ignorant people. So that knowledge hasn't brought us liberation. But the knowledge of real self, spirit within will bring us liberation. So all worldly knowledge has no value. It may have value so far as we want to earn our livelihood.
Then how do we bring on samskaras from previous life to this life?
This
if
life.
It is independent of
Yes, that is preserved in the subtle body as scars, but not as language. They are scars. Scars. For example, this is a new blackboard. This is a new blackboard. Now we go on writing over it, using and removing with the duster. And after 2 years, you won't see the same, though the wood will be the same. But the surface will have many scars on it. And yet, everything is erased. But something remains. You see, every time you write and erase, every time you write and remain, those scars remain. And that scar spoils it. We build a building, and after 100 years, 200 years, 500 years, what happens to any building? Tell me. Nobody hits it with hammer and sticks. And yet, every building just becomes old and goes, vanishes. And then you won't perhaps find the building even, or it will be just buried under the earth after centuries. And that's how archaeologists find out, dig out. Likewise, external atmosphere and the weather has effect on everything, on our body too. Why we also become old? It is the weather effect. Why the buildings become old? That is also the weather effect. Everybody and everything has weather effect. Purchase a brand new thing and put it. Don't touch it ever. It will wither away one day. It will look old. What makes it old? Weather effect. And so, in this universe, whatever is born is transient, is not permanent. And weather effect will grasp it. Like your black hole theory. I don't know more about it, but it says that a black hole means anything goes into it just vanishes, but where? Nobody knows. But we say that Lord has thousands of mouths, that Brahma is with 1,000 mouths. And if there are 1,000 black holes, what is wrong? And one day, all the cosmos goes into those 1,000 mouths and just vanishes. And once again, Lord is power, creates. So, what is ultimate truth? If whole cosmos will vanish one day, truth is Brahman, which will never vanish. That doesn't perish. So Brahma is Satya, Jagat Mithya. This universe is illusion. That is not real. It is unreal. This universe. And Brahma is real. Now, if that Brahma is real, then what is your spirit? Your spirit also is real. Then are there two realities? No. There is only one reality, Brahman. And so your spirit also is Brahman. And in Indian philosophy, there are Mahavakyas, means great sentences. They are found in Upanishads. The one is Aham Brahmasmi. Aham means I. Brahma means Brahma. Asmi means am. I am Brahman. I am not gross body, I am not subtle body, I am not causal body, I am spirit. And that spirit that I am is Brahman. So I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Ayam Atma Brahma. That is another great sentence. Mahavakya. Ayam means this. Atma means spirit, individual spirit. Brahman means Brahman. Ayam Atma Brahman means this spirit of mine is Brahman. Meaning is the same. These are called Mahavakyas. So our individual spirit is not different from the universal spirit. It is a part of the universal spirit. But why we feel we are different is because of these casings around our spirit. And those casings doesn't allow us to see oneness with Brahman. And no sooner we have a case, then we feel I, and something else in front of me. So ego consciousness comes. Spirit consciousness is forgotten. And ego consciousness teaches you everything which is not knowledge, it is all ignorance. Because spirit is all knowledge, there cannot be any place for it, ignorance to stay. Where does ignorance stay? It stays in our ego consciousness. Now that's a limited consciousness. You might have heard some stories there, I don't know whether there it happens like that, but here some people dress up like police, in uniform and all that, but fake, not real. Then you will go to somebody and say, oh, you have done such wrong, and that fellow will be afraid. I am caught by the police and something will happen to me. Maybe he may give him 5 rupees and say, escape. Such fake policemen are found. Now there is fake policeman in each one of us, sitting for all these years, and we haven't been able to know it. And we believe that he is a real police. And that is ego. He is a fake policeman. He just dons the clothes of policeman. He is not really police. He doesn't have any power over you. But you become slave to it, thinking that, oh, he is a policeman. And you forget this pure spirit. Spirit becomes poor compared to ego. It is the ego which cheats us all the time. And we are willing to be cheated. And for all these years we have been willing. And even after hearing this, neither you nor I nor we will be willing not to be. And that is the miracle of ego. That is the miracle of Maya, what we call. Maya is just Maya. There is no proper word, as Mr. Trivedi was telling yesterday. Certain Sanskrit words can rarely be described into proper English. Maya is Maya. When we say that he is a Maya, means we know everything about it, Maya, but it's very difficult to explain. Maya in general is illusion. Or if we want to define Maya in some more words rather than one word, then it can be said that Maya is that thing in us which doesn't permit us to know the truth, but makes us know untruth. It always teaches us wrong things. What is not true, you will feel, oh, this is true, and that is Maya. And what is true, you will say, oh, this seems to be absolutely false, and that also is Maya. And so Lord Krishna in Gita says, I am concealed or masked with Maya, so nobody can know me. And because of his Maya, we are all under delusion and consider unreality to be reality and untruth to be truth. And so we feel the entire universe is real. What is unreal? Our science says it is real. Our physics says it is real. Our chemistry says it is real. Our biology says it is real. Botany says it is real. Electricity says it is real. Magnetism says it is real. And yet it is unreal. Then what are these sciences? Tell me. Those sciences relate to your gross body and gross understanding. Present-day science cannot teach you anything which is subtle. It can tell you everything about gross and the minutest particle of what is gross, but they can't tell you anything about subtle. And that is the limitation of the physical sciences. And if you have read one statement of Einstein, he has said that I am convinced that howsoever and to whatever extent physical science may make progress, it will never be able to unravel the mystery of nature. And what is that mystery of nature which Einstein says physical sciences will never be able to reveal? That is subtle. And Indian philosophy says that what you see in this gross universe is just nothing as compared to subtle. It is just one ansh. Ansha, you know, 1 degree. Take a circle, that is whole, isn't it? A circle is a whole. Circle means in 60 degrees. Now, take 1 degree out of it. So out of the whole, gross universe is only 1 degree. 1 upon 360th part of real universe. That means 359 degrees is subtle. So subtle is 359 times more than what is gross. And we know how much of gross, tell me. Even gross universe, how much we know. There are so many stars, so many solar systems, so many nebulae that we can't see with these eyes. With most powerful telescope we can't see all. And present day astronomers say that whatever is seen with the most powerful telescope today on Earth we at least believe that there must be 200 times more the stars and other systems existing. That is their conjecture, at least 200 times. Is there an end to the physical thing also? Tell me. Then what must be the subtle as compared to that? Now, when are we going to get the knowledge from outside research? Tell me. If you understand that this cosmos is such vast, and something subtle is still vaster than that, how are we going to know that? And is it necessary to spend dollars on it? Making research? Tell me, frankly, huh? If you have extra dollars, then give to me. If you don't want to do research. Yes. So, research is needed to be done in the internal world. If you do research in internal world, you will know the subtle cosmos also. And that is worth doing. But we are doing what is not worth doing. We are spending energy, time, money, everything for gathering ignorance, which is just ignorance. It's gross form. So as much you know about your gross body and know about your extrovert things in the gross cosmos, how does it help? It's all collection of ignorance, no knowledge. If knowledge comes from subtle, now question will arise, how to know this subtle? Now when I say subtle, all of us have read the word in dictionary, but have anybody of us seen what is subtle? It is just a characteristic about which we have heard, and each one of us has different concept about it, because we haven't seen an object. So your subtle, if I say draw a picture of your subtle, and draw, so every one of you will draw some different kind of picture, and somebody will say, I don't know subtle at all, so I can't draw any picture. Because there is only name, no root. And that subtle also is not a name. It is just a broad classification. By subtle we mean what is not gross. Otherwise what is subtle? You can't explain. There are no words, no concepts to explain that. But if you want to really know what subtle is, then we must try to understand what subtle is by experience. We have learnt everything gross by experience. Who doesn't know that fire burns? And how do you know? Because each one of us has, at one time or the other in life, some experience of fire. We have touched and received burn. So one experience is enough. In lifetime we will not forget that lesson, that fire burns. If you know swimming, and then for 20 years if we have not tried to swim, but after 20 years if somebody pushes us into deep water, what will happen? We will swim. We will not say that I am out of practice, so I have forgotten swimming. You see, experience is such that you have to learn only once, and that lasts for the lifetime. Then it is real experience. Many people say that in meditation I had this experience, I had this experience, but now what? And then again it didn't come. Then I said it is not experience then. Because once you experience, you should not forget. Then that is real experience. And so, subtle also, once you know, you will never forget it. How to know that subtle? Now gross, as I said, gross universe, gross body that we have, knows about gross things outside. And how we know gross things? What is our way of knowing the outer things? Either we see with our eyes, or hear with our ears, or smell with our nose, taste with our tongue, or feel with our touch with our skin, and know. These are 5 ways of knowing. Real experience. If we see something edible, and if we have never tasted, first thing we do is to and try to know what taste it is. Bitter, sweet, sour, hot, like that. And once we know, then we know for the lifetime that this is this. Have you ever to know that sugar is sweet often? Once you know, you know. Likewise, once we know, it is for the lifetime. But how to know? These extroverted senses teach us what is in the gross universe. But if the same senses can become introverted, you can learn about subtle. Now, you have a trick. What should you do? Make your eyes just reverse. Go to a doctor and say, and then ears also, fold it inside, and nose out. Tongue is already in, but then take it a little further down, and then you will know the subtle. No. These are all organs of receiving knowledge. We also don't receive knowledge just with eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. We receive knowledge with faculties of perception, not organs of perception. If there is no faculty of perception, organ will be useless. Look at a born blind child. He has eyes, as we have. But then what is missing? Faculty of seeing is missing. It doesn't have power of seeing. A child does have eyes. A person who is deaf by birth has fine ears, perhaps much better than what we have in shape. And yet he doesn't have the faculty of hearing. A dumb person does have a tongue in the mouth, but he doesn't have faculty of speaking. So all these organs are not gaining knowledge. It is the faculty of perceptions within us which gains the knowledge through these organs. So organs are just gross nothing, you see. It is, if I can't see at a long distance, then I will put the specs and see. For reading, if I can't read properly, I will put the specs and see. Now, does the spec have power of perception? Tell me. It is an aid. Likewise, even eyes, nose, ears, they are all just gross aids. But what brings us knowledge is our power of perception, faculties of knowing. And why I am telling this is, I wanted to tell you that there is no need to just turn your eyes wrong side, the other way, or put your ears inside, but just withdraw your faculty which works through these organs within. And when you withdraw all these faculties out and draw it further in and in, then those faculties will help you to learn about subtle. And time will come when all your faculties are inverted inside, then you will yourself forget about your gross body and you will see your subtle body. Really see it. How? This gross body we have seen, nothing can penetrate it, and light also cannot go through it because it is solid. But your subtle body is not solid, and yet it has a shape and size as you have gross body. In the similar shape your subtle body is. But that subtle body you will see transparent. And then you will say, where will the gross body be? But you will see your body transparent. So how can you see the gross? Tell me, in X-ray, how do you see the body? Not as gross, something transparent. So when you see your body in a transparent manner, what will happen? When you see a gross thing, inner part is dark because you can't penetrate, with the light cannot penetrate. But when you see a thing transparent, for example, this glass bottle, is it dark? Tell me. Even if you fill it with water, it won't be dark. You can see through it. So it's glass-like. So like that bottle, you will see your body. Not in the shape of bottle, but in your shape, but like that bottle. That is why in Gita it is said that sarvadvareshu dehasmin prakashaha upajayate gnanam yada tada vidya vivruddhe sattvam ityuta. Krishna tells Arjuna, sarvadvareshu dehasmin, when in this body, out of all the doors, prakashaha upajayate, light emanates. So you will see your body full of light, illuminated body. Gnanam yada tada vidya. Then know that now you gain knowledge. For Gyān Yog, in order to get knowledge, what you should know now, you have understood. Jnanam yada tada vidya vivruddhe sattvam ityuta. And know also that now your sattva guna has increased. Our nature possesses three gunas: sattva, rajas, tamas. Sattva is the quality of purity and knowledge and light. Rajas is the quality of activity. But it is mixed with half knowledge, half ignorance, like in between. And tamas is indolence, ignorance, inactivity, ignorance, darkness. When our consciousness is with the gross body, we have all these three gunas in us, but mostly at gross level we use rajas and tamas. Either we are active or we are idle. Either we don't know, we are ignorant about things, or we only half know it. We never totally know it. And because of that, our vision is blurred and we can't see anything which is through anything which is gross. So we can't see subtle. In order to see subtle, we have to take recourse to sattva and give up our connection with rajas and tamas as far as possible. Now, these three gunas again are weighed in balance on two sides. We have all seen balance for weighing things. On one side you put the weight, and on another side put the object to be weighed. And when both are equal, the balance remains just in the middle. The pointer remains in the middle. Now, in our natural balance, on one side there are rajas and tamas. On the other side there is sattva. So if the container on the one side, which contains rajas and tamas, becomes heavy, then it will go down, and another container will automatically go up in balance. So when you indulge more into rajas and tamas, your sattva gun diminishes, so that container will go up. And if you use more of sattva, then that container will go down. Your rajas and tamas will decrease. And that is what we should do in order to know the truth, because sattva will give us the insight into the subtle things. So for decreasing rajas and tamas, we have to decrease our extroverted activities, because it is these qualities which make us extroverted, and sattva quality makes us introvert. So for decreasing rajas and tamas, we have to observe yamas and niyamas of yoga. Some restraints, self-control, some self-disciplining is necessary. Then we will be able to decrease the degree of rajas and tamas in us. And that means the balance of sattva will automatically go down. Sattva will increase. And when sattva is increased, then you can understand subtle. And that is what is said Lord Krishna in that stanza, that when you see from all gates of the body light flooding in, then understand that now your sattva is increasing and you are going to gain real knowledge. So, through that knowledge is gained. And that is knowing the subtle, increasing sattva, and knowing real things, the real truths. Now, if we can withdraw our faculties of perception within, instead of letting them go out, then there is a chance of our seeing the subtle self. And when that is happening, then you will understand that, oh, this subtle body is real, not this gross body. Because now you have found a key that I so far thought that it is only in this gross form that I am living. And if I leave this gross body, I will die. But now you have found another body in which you are living, so why should you worry about the gross? Tell me. Then you know that, oh, so far as I thought that this gross body is precious to me, but now the subtle is precious to me. And it gives you better knowledge, more power. Gross body can walk and run, but subtle body can fly in the air. Which one would you like? Tell me, frankly. Yes, so that your money will be saved in back life. You won't have to purchase a ticket. So, then we understand that we are something much better than what we had thought ourselves to be. And then as you go still further, withdraw further, then you will be with your causal body, the innermost body of the three. And then you will feel, oh, this subtle also is not so good. Causal is good. Now what is causal body? As I told you that in dream you have all experienced subtle body to an extent. So you have some idea of what is subtle body, though remote. But what is causal body? I'll tell. As we have experienced dream state, we have all experienced deep sleep state. And you have said to your friends many times that, oh, I slept soundly, no dream, nothing. I didn't know how the night passed. You have not experienced causal body, but that is your identity with causal body. When your consciousness goes very deep, then you are not aware of either physical body or even subtle body. So no dreams also. Now, this is our normal experience of causal body. Just to conceive have some idea as to what causal body, identity with causal body is like. It is like deep sleep state. But in deep sleep state, we have neither knowledge nor ignorance. That is very good. Isn't it? But when you experience your causal body in meditation, you have all knowledge. And yet you experience that bliss and silence and quietude as you experience in deep sleep state. As the difference between normal dream and the subtle body is, in normal dream you have to just depend on what comes, you can see. But if you have identity with subtle body, you can direct it to do what it wants. You want to do. You say, fly over USA, or take me to Kayava. In dream state, normal dream state, we don't have control over what we are doing and what we are saying. But when you are experiencing your subtle body through yoga, you have control over your subtle body, can do with it what you intend to do. That likewise in deep sleep state also, you are not knowing nor you are ignorant either way, because you are absolutely in deep sleep state, not aware at all. But in causal body, when you experience it through meditation, you are aware of yourself fully. That is the difference. Because that body is very near to this soul, spirit. That is why it is like that, so quiet. But even that also is a way between spirit and you. So finally you have to share that also. And when that body also goes, then you become omniscient, omnipotent and omnipresent. Now, what is that? That is the power of God. And when you realize that, oh, I am this pure spirit, and then when you realize its powers, then you say, oh, I am Brahman. You are like Brahman. When we have realized our own spirit within, pure spirit, then we know that we are none of these three bodies. I am not a body at all. I am spirit, pure spirit. And realizing the powers of spirit, you feel that, oh, I am one with the universal spirit. I have all the powers that universal spirit has. And so, out of experience you say, now Mahavakya, I am Brahman. This spirit is Brahman. So those Mahavakyas are experiences mentioned by the ancient sages in the scriptures. They are not just theoretical statements. And when you experience that, then you are in yoga with the universal spirit, unison with the universal spirit. This is what yoga is in a nutshell. Now, if this is yoga, then another question will arise, because you have heard names of many types of yoga. You have heard about Hatha Yog, you have heard about Raj Yog, you have heard about Mantra Yog, you have heard about Laya Yoga, you have heard about Kundalini Yog, you have heard about Karma Yog, you have heard about Gyān Yog, you have heard about Bhakti Yog, you have heard about Yog, you have heard about Japa Yog, you have heard about Dhyan Yog. These various types of yoga. Which one is better? That question will arise in your mind, so that you can choose the best. Now, no yoga is worse and no yoga is better. All are equally good. But then also problem arise. If all are equally good, which should I choose? Now, which one will you choose? First you will try to know what is Gyān Yog, what is Bhakti Yog, what is Karma Yog, what is Hatha Yog. And after knowing something about everything, you will decide that, oh, for me this seems to be better, isn't it? That's the way how you will choose it. But for choosing, you will know something about it. Then you will come to that choice. If somebody wants to go to Delhi from here, how will he go? Everyone will choose the vehicle in which he would like to go. Some may go by plane, some may choose train, some may choose to go by car, some may choose to go on bicycle, and some might camel, some may like to go on foot. Now, everybody would like to choose the quickest vehicle. So far as plane is available, you will choose it. Then if car is available, if not plane, then if plane and car both are not available, you may choose train. Camel probably you will choose the last. Now, why is it so? Even if you want to go by plane, but if you don't have enough money, you will decide to go by train. And if you don't have even enough money to go by train, you will choose to go by some other means, which is cheaper. So, your choice is not only which is the fastest, your choice is what is the heat of your pocket. So, now, accordingly, the path that you choose for spiritual advancement also will not only depend on which is the quickest path, but which is suitable to you, and which path you can practice easily, keeping your disposition in view. That is best for you. Much depends upon our disposition, and we prefer the type that suits us the most. Now, in choosing that also, we may have to keep in mind our level of spiritual growth. If we have not grown much and we choose a path which demands higher background, then we will not succeed. We can try and waste time, but without result. Instead, it is better to try that thing which may take you slowly, but then it will take you somewhere. After trial, you get some result. If there are two fruit trees, on one tree the fruits are very high and you can't reach the top. On another tree there are fruits which are at a lesser height and you can get it by jumping. Which one will you choose? You won't try to jump for the higher one where you will not reach. You will first try the one where you reach and then think that at least let me have this first. Then I will think of that. But if you start jumping for the highest, maybe somebody else comes and takes away the lower fruit and you get neither. So it's better first to get whatever is at hand and then jump for the other thing. Likewise, everyone has to choose his own path according to his capacity, his disposition, and his level of growth. Now, how these paths are different? They are different in the sense of means. Path is the same, as I told you. You go to Baroda on foot, on cycle, in a cart, in bus or a motor. The road is the same. Only the means that you use for traveling, they are different. Likewise, in all these yoga, path is the same. It is because of different means that you choose. You give a different label, that mine is a karma yoga, but you are going on the same path and going to the same destiny. And the means you choose, as I told you, according to heat of your pocket, your capacity, and growth. So, broadly speaking, all these yogas have been included into two broad sets. One set of that complete yoga, entire track, leading up to God realization, or realization of Brahman, is the set of 4 yogas. Mantra Yog, Hatha Yog, Laya Yog, and Raj Yog. You will find in many Upanishads this statement that this yoga is fourfold. It has Mantra Yog, Hatha Yog, Laya Yog, and Raj Yog as its component. Another set is made up of 3 different yogas: Karma Yog, Gyān Yog, and Bhakti Yog. Both these sets also are not different paths, mind. It's the same path, same route. But why these sets? Sets suggest that you must start with Mantra Yoga if you want to do complete yoga. And if you start with Mantra Yoga, you will have to get entry into Hatha Yoga later on. And after Hatha Yoga, get entry into Laya Yoga. And after Laya Yoga, get entry into Raj Yoga. And then your yoga will be complete. Now those who start with Mantra Yoga, they label their yoga as Mantra Yoga, and yet they reach the final. Some people start with Hatha Yoga and reach the final. Some people start with Karma Yoga and reach the final. Some people start with Gyān Yog and reach the final. Some people will start with Bhakti Yog and reach the final. And yet they are not separate. You cannot do Karma Yoga only if it doesn't lead you to Gyān Yoga. Because the ultimate aim of Karma Yoga is to lead you to Gyān Yoga. In Gita, Lord Krishna says, Lokesmin dvividha nishtha pura prokta maya nagah Gnana Yogena Sankhyana, Karma Yogena Yogina. In this word, lokasmin, Dvividha Nishtha, twofold disciplines. I have said, Pura Prokta Maya Naga, I have already said earlier. That is what Lord Krishna tells to Arjuna. And what are those two disciplines? Gnana Yogena Sankhyana. One discipline is Gyān Yog, that is for Sankhyas, Sankhya follower. And another is Karma Yog, Karma Yogena Yogina, those who want to follow the Yoga path. Now you will say that Krishna has said two paths. Gyān Yog for Sankhya's and Karma Yog for Yogis. And what is Sankhya and what is Yogi? So again Lord Krishna says that Sankhya and Yoga are the same. Only the ignorant people say they are different. That is what Krishna says. Sankhya Yoga Prutak Bala means Sankhya and Yoga. Prutak means are separate. Only children would say so. Those who are not knowledgeable. Sankhya Yoga Prutak Bala. Pravadanti na panditaha. But the learned people would not say so. Sankhyam cha yogam cha ekam. Ekam sankhyam cha yogam cha yah pashyati sa pashyati. That Sankhya and Yoga are one. One who sees that really knows. That is what is said in Gita. It means that Sankhya and Yoga are not separate. That Krishna himself has said. And yet he says they are two disciplines. Why? They are two disciplines in a linear fashion. And again he says in Gita that for those who are aspirant to walk on the path of yoga, for them karma is the means. And those who have already ascended the path of yoga, for them shama is the means, the Gyān. It means that karma is the previous phase and Gyān is the later phase. So karma is the first practice. As a result of that, you will enter into the Gyān Yog, which comes later phase, in a later phase. So nobody can do Gyān Yog without mastering Karma Yog. And that is why Bapuji also has written good article saying that Bina Karma Yog ke Gyān Yog vifal hai. Without Karma Yog, Gyān Yog is useless. So here is the link between Karma Yoga and Gyān Yoga. You have to start with the Gyān Yoga, Karma Yoga. Then you can come to Gyān Yoga. Like as we send our children to school, we first send them to kindergarten, then we send them to primary school, then secondary school or higher school, and then college. Do we ever take our child straight to college for admission and say that I want to make him a doctor or an engineer, so give admission in medical college or engineering college? We don't do that. Though we have an intention that if my child becomes a doctor or an engineer, it is good. But that is our intention. Our intention doesn't mean that we should take him to medical or engineering college straight away for admission. We know the rule that first we have to go to primary school, then secondary, high school, and like that. But in yoga, nobody wants to observe this. Everybody wants to jump for the highest straight away. Then you will not get admission even, let alone the fruit. And that is where, as I said, heat of the pocket counts. If you don't have money, you can't go by plane. And here, heat of the pocket means your spiritual level, your level of growth at present. Depending on that, you must start. And depending on that, you should choose which path is for you. Now, as such, anybody should start with Karma Yoga, as I told you, and as Krishna says. And then comes the turn of Gyān Yog. And last comes Bhakti. Because Bhakti, it is said that without Gyān and Vairagya, Bhakti is not possible. It is without real knowledge and detachment, real detachment from worldly life. There is no Bhakti. Now, many people think that Bhakti is easy. But Bhakti is higher and all. But that's what people think, that this is easy. But Bhakti is a higher stage. Now, yet many people have done only Bhakti in this lifetime and have attained liberation. Many people have just done only Gyān Yoga in this lifetime and attained liberation. And many people have done just Karma Yoga and have attained liberation. How is it possible? It is possible. If you do Karma Yoga, possibility is that he reaches the level of Gyān and then level of Bhakti goes through. But how about one who starts with Gyān and reaches? We do not know what we have done in our past life. And our sanskaras, inner subliminal impressions, they drag us to certain paths sometimes. And we adopt to it so quickly that we don't need to go to the lower step. That depends upon what we have done in past. And then the means that we adopt, they will shoot us. But without really knowing our level, if we just decide that because this is higher, I want it, maybe we will fail. But now, what is the better way to judge? We don't know what we have done in past. Then how to judge which path is good for us? All of us know three things very well: head, hands, heart. In our life, we use these three things. If we are good at using our hands, means doing karma, action, activity, then Karma Yoga is good for us. Because we are good at that. Our disposition fits it. If we are good at using head, then Gyān Yoga will fit. And if we are good at using heart, Bhakti Yoga. Now it doesn't mean that those who use heart, they are necessarily of higher spiritual growth. Understand me clearly. It is also not necessary that those who are good at using head have necessarily an upper edge over those who use hands well. These are our natural dispositions. It doesn't tell us that we are lower, higher or medium. But if we choose a work or path of devotion or practice which suits our nature more and better, we can do more justice to it and we can make faster progress on that. And if we choose what is contrary to our nature, for some time we will like, but then we will start disliking it and then we will give it up. Because that doesn't suit us at all. We have wrongly chosen that. So, in deciding which path to choose, one must be very discriminative in making a decision. Make a decision, neutral thinking and fair thinking. let not your mind argue with you. Just be with your real self, not ego. Then probably you will find the right answer. And anybody can find the right answer. It's not very difficult. Only thing is that we should be frank enough, and we shouldn't have any bias that this path is higher, this path is superior, this is lower, and there is nothing like that. Even if medical college is higher, is primary school useless? Tell me. If you don't know ABCD or alphabet, if you don't learn, can you ever become a doctor or an engineer? At the level where you are learning, alphabet is most important. And when you learn that at the level of medical college, that is important. But both have equal importance. What you have learned at a lower division or lower standard curriculum is also important. That has built you up to become a doctor. No knowledge is useless. So in sadhana also, each level is useful at that level. And you must have that experience. You must pass through that. Otherwise you will never reach the final station. Even if we never start from the bus stand, from Kayavaram at all, how can we reach Baroda? We will have to start somewhere. And then villages will come, Manpura will come, and then Por will come, and other village will come. And though we are not going to hold there, those villages are not important for us. Our aim is to go to Baroda. But in between, all these things will come. So in themselves they are not useful to us. But the moment they pass, we pass by that, we know that we are progressing. So in order to know that you are progressing also, you must know that in between all these things should come. So whether you choose bhakti, jnana or karma, you will have to pass via all the stations, right from first to the last station. But when you choose a particular path, then you have chosen for you a special kind of technique or means which you would like to master. Karma Yog are different. Gyān Yog techniques are different. Bhakti Yog techniques are different. But the results obtained through all these techniques are the same. Whether you go by foot to Baroda, Manpura will come, Por will come, all villages will come. If you go by cycle also, same villages will come. Only probably you go a little faster. And if you go by bus, also the same stations will come. If you go by car, same stations will go. Likewise, what means you choose, you have to decide according to your disposition. But once you choose the means, the path is the same. Now, if we are well disposed for Karma Yoga, we should start with Karma Yoga. And Gyān Yog and Bhakti Yog will automatically come to us as a result. If you choose Gyān Yog, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga will come to you automatically as a result. And if you choose Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga and Gyān Yoga will come automatically as a result. It is not that because you have chosen Bhakti, which is of a higher level, you will not go to the lower level experience at all. You have to go with the lower level, bottom experience to the top experience. So, out of these two broad sets of Mantra Yog, Hatha Yog, Laya Yog and Raj Yog, or Karma Yog, Gyān Yog and Bhakti Yog, you can choose either. And again, these two sets also are not different as I told you. But the Hatha Yog and Laya Yog, they are somewhat difficult in the sense it requires a lot of bodily stamina and readiness to undergo hardships. Now, many people cannot do that. It will depend on their age, it will depend on their disposition. Some old people also are very agile, and some young people are very lethargic. So, although they are young, they cannot take to Hatha Yoga. And old people, although they might be aged, if they are very active yet, they can take to it. But karma, Gyān and Bhakti are safe. Any age you can do that. Because there is not very hard physical part involved in it. That is why many people, a large number of people, even in India, they would like to follow Bhakti or Karma or Gyān Yog. And very few will choose to walk on Hatha Yog path, Ashtang Yog path, which is a little strenuous. So now, keeping in view one's own nature, disposition, capacity, level of growth, one has to choose. And if you can't make a decision yourself, best course is to leave it to Guru to tell you which path will suit you the most. But Guru also will not tell you the next day. Guru will observe you for a few months, if necessary for a year or 2 years or more, and then tell you that for you this path is more suitable. But when a Guru tells you after observing, his decision is always better than yours also. And that is why most of the disciples, at least in India, would not like to choose their path. They would let Guru decide what is good for them. But even if we ourselves want to make a choice, then as I told you, you can. If you have confidence, you can make a choice. But then, once you decide and choose a path, you should be ready to put in hard work for trying that path. Then you will succeed. It's not that your choice will always be wrong. Your choice may be right also. Much depends on, after the choice, much depends on